There's a serve inside the room during the session around 3 o'clock. Thank you. So Dr. Grace, reasonable, please.
Good afternoon, esteemed friends, honored speakers. I will repeat what Dr. Sati said about the first speaker, so you have more time for your presentation. Thanks very much for coming from Bhutan, Mongolia, Bangladesh, and Malaysia just next door. It is my great pleasure to, as Chairman, to welcome you again in a sort of a close-knitted community compared to large meeting room this morning. So that this is the oral session for the Six Princes Mahachakri. It is our intention that the 14 countries should learn from one another. We have been doing this for the last 10 years, especially during the time of COVID, when 11 countries learn from one to another, because I think all schools in the 11 countries at that time, all the schools were closed at various stages. I remember Brunei was ahead of many countries in closing their schools, so they learned how to basically educate parents how to help the children, how to look after also the learning. We ran an online seminar, I remember, for 11 countries, and that benefited the rest that the COVID school was at different stage. This is just an example of what we can share. We have a project coordinated by Sainuddin from Malaysia, the first Malaysian recipient. He is a master trainer of Microsoft. When I first met him, I was kind of surprised because he used IT to help his students to globalize the world. He didn't teach IT. He used IT as tools so that students could connect. They did multinational school project together. Like you have a school in Europe, a school in South America, a school in Asia, doing a project. We started a project among the 11 countries. I remember it's called PMCA breakfast. So the students decide among themselves what breakfast, traditional breakfast, they would cook. And they communicate at that time among 3 or 4 countries using Google Translate without knowing each other language. That demonstrated the power of technology. These are kinds of sort of coordinated efforts that we could do. I think the foundation is committed to fostering cooperation among 14 countries. We have exchange of teachers, we have exchange of students. We ran this multinational project. And now we decided to establish a so-called PMCA Academy to help teach teachers developing teaching materials, both printed and online. Of this, I have advised permanent secretaries of all the 14 countries that you have opportunity to meet. This should be coordinated by Singapore, who has come very far in the training of the teachers. So we hope that all the 14 countries can join this effort in sharing experience, how we train teachers, how we develop teachers, how to look after them throughout their 20, 30 years of working life. Apart from this, today we will learn from 3 countries, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Mongolia. And on top of that, we would highlight the work being done in Malaysia on TVET. The work that I had the opportunity to see about 2 months ago deeply impressed me. That's why I asked the senior officials from Malaysia to send senior people to talk to us, to TVET in Malaysia. This year, 2025, marks the 35th year since the representatives across the world met in Thailand to adopt what we call the Jomtien Declaration. Basically, Jomtien Declaration is education for all. So, education must be open to all. Especially when I travel around the 14 countries, I noticed that the underlying principle is that no child is left behind. No child is left behind. Wherever they are, what state they are. And then all for education. So we have to join hands among all stakeholders in our own country and among countries to work for the student. So I hope that this session would reflect your commitment to the goal of leaving no child behind. Finally, I hope we can develop human capital in our respective countries together. We could share policy frameworks, which I'm sure we learn from the 3 countries. Innovative practices. The world is full of challenges. That's when we have to prepare our future citizens, like climate change, like economic uncertainty, digital and AI technology. Hopefully this is the place that we can reflect, share, and strengthen our collective efforts to build sustainable future for our children. I look forward to a fruitful discussion today. I'm confident that we will leave here with new ideas, new perspectives, new commitment, and more important, new friends, new networks, so that we could advance the teaching of our future generation and also strengthen education in our respective countries. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a big hand for the 4 speakers.
Thank you very much, Dr. Krishnapong, for your inspiring and meaningful opening remarks. Okay, the words Dr. Krishnapong said remind us of the importance of the collaboration and mutual learning among our countries. Okay, and now to begin our journey this afternoon of sharing and learning, we will start with the presentation, the very insightful presentation from Bangladesh, one of the new members of PMCA family. It is my honor to introduce Miss Rebecca Suntana, Joint Secretary of the Ministry of Primary and Mass Education of Bangladesh, to share with us an overview of Bangladesh and its education system, highlighting the key priorities and achievements that have shaped education in Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming Ms. Rebecca Suntana.
Honorable Chair, Dr. Kishana Kritikara, I think, Chairman of PMC Foundation, respected participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. At first, I want to give thanks for the PMC authority to give me a chance to present about our education system of Bangladesh. Welcome to all my presentation. This is Rebecca Sultana. I am working as a Joint Secretary, Ministry of Primary and Mass Education. Slide. At first, I want to describe some slides about our Bangladesh, the geographical location. Bangladesh is a very bright, vibrant country located in South Asia, bounded by the India of 3 sides and one side Myanmar, and the southeast side Myanmar, and the Bay of Bengal to the south. And our country is divided into 8 divisions, and 8 divisions into divided 64 districts, and many upazila, 6 to 11 upazila make a districts. Historical background is our Bangladesh independent on 16th December 1997. After pre-independence, our colonial educational system under the British limited access to education, mainly for elite groups. Post-independence, focus on mass literacy, improving access, establishment of free primary education. Some country overview. Our official names, the People's Republic of Bangladesh, capital city Dhaka, area 1,47,570 square kilometer, population 165 million, growth rate 1.22%, literacy rate 76%, per capita income 2,653 USD above, primary enrollment 98%. Teachers to students ratio in a class average 1:29. Gender priority greater than less than 1. Our education systems, our Article 70 of the Bangladesh Constitution directs the state to establish a uniform, mass-oriented and universal education systems. Constitutional right, free and primary compulsory education, which is aligned SDG 4. The main aims of our national policy, education policy, are to create a universal, quality and accessible education system aligned with the nation's needs and global standards. Mainly our education sector in Bangladesh divided two ministries play key roles. One ministry, Ministry of Education into divided 2 divisions, secondary and higher education divisions, technical and madrasa education divisions. And another Ministry of Primary Education, Ministry of Primary and Mass Education. Secondary and higher secondary education also divided 23 directorate, institute and board. Technical and madrasa education, it's also divided 6 directorates, institutions and Education Board, and Ministry of Primary and Mass Education divided into 5 directorate and institutions. Our education systems, pre-primary, 1 year, but we are piloting it to extend it for 1 to 2 years. Primary education, grade 1 to 5, secondary 6 to 10. After completion of the secondary, SSC examination at the end, school certificate examination, secondary school certificate examination. Then higher secondary education, grade 1 to 11 to 12, leads to HSC examination, higher secondary school certificate. Tertiary education, all publics and private universities are under this education system. Here is the full education system, stages and years: early childhood education, playgroup, nursery, non-formal, 4 or 5 years. Primary level education, grade 1 to 5, 6 to 10 years. Junior secondary education, grade 6 to 12, 11 to 13 years. And secondary education, secondary school certificate examinations, 14 to 15 years. And higher secondary education, 16 to 17 years. Bachelor education, then master degree in bachelor degree in many subjects: agriculture, specialist, agriculture, engineering, medical, then other higher degree. Basic information, our total education system, but I am responsible for primary and mass education. But data is here, is many data. Our types of institution: primary, general, Bangla medium, madrasa, educations, vocational, English medium, college, professional college, universities, and training institutes. And here is the name of institution, number of teachers, numbers of students. The education system of Bangladesh is comprised mixed of heterogeneous, provided a variety of schools: government-run school, private-run schools, and madrasa. English medium schools, which is follow British curriculum. Many schools run by NGOs and kindergarten school. NGOs only works for non-formal educations. This is our teachers development system. This is a picture. Our teacher completed many training, e-service, in-service, and advanced training, continuous professional development training. That we have a teacher training curriculum, which is teachers standard. Types of training: pre-service training. Teachers who is not in service after previous he can get this training. In service training, current teachers after joining the service, it needs to complete the this type of trainings in all levels: primary, secondary, and college level. Our key institutions: Teachers Training College, NAB, National Academy for Primary Education, and PTI. Thematic and specialized training, which is subject experts and inclusive educators target group. ICT integration for all teachers. Leadership training for head teachers. Madrasa teachers training, Teachers Training Institute, madrasa teachers for madrasa teachers, TVET training for technical instructor. And online and blended learning, it's for all teachers. Good practices and good practice in our ministry and for our teacher. Here is learning management system. It is a software-based application used to create, deliver, and manage online education and training programs, handling everything for content delivery to tracking student progress. No. Previous. Next. No. IPEMIS. Next. Yeah. This is a good practice. The one smart platform, all digital service, all information about primary education, teachers in one platform, online transfer, and students, teachers' information, teachers' service information, all information is here in one software. A dynamic and interoperable system, comprehensive digital platform, policy alignment with all modules, essential source of data for research, project, and feasibility studies. Optimal use of government money and infrastructure development. This is sustainable. Online teachers transfer is being implemented to ensure timely delivery of service. At first, our teacher application on online, submit their application on online, verified and nominated automatically. Government fix up the criteria and which have criteria for distance between home to schools, teaching marital status, teacher's marital status, husband posting place, and disability, and age, duration of his service, duration of his posting place. After verified, then online order and joining. Nomination automatically, and after that online order, then joining. Multimedia classroom, it is launched in 2020, over 1,000 of schools. More than 45,000 schools have multimedia classroom and ICT lab. This is small practices for our pre-primary educations and play-based and attractive schools for pre-primary students, 4+ and 5+ students, little doctors, the students from grade 3, 4, and 5, fundamental health issues like campaign, vaccination program, they help those programs. Then honesty shops. Honesty shops without shops without a manager. In every primary school, we see every primary school promote values and moral. Multilingual educations, mother tongue based educations. It's for initiatives to support the country's indigenous communities for using their mother tongue language. 5 indigenous groups, Chakma, Marma, Tripura, Garo, and Sadri, which is started from 2017, distributed these types of free textbook in 2024 academic year. Disaster risk reduction measures and climate resilience infrastructure, constructions of management of schools shelter facilities to provide refugee during emergencies like flood, earthquake issues. special education needs for disabilities, mainstreaming the children with disability, approved framework, special training for teachers, provided assistive device, wheelchair, crutch, hearings, and aids, etc. Gender-sensitive learning environment, training provided for these issues, training provided teachers and officials. So, good practices in our government schools, digital education initiatives, promote digital literacy and integration of digital technology, classrooms, multimedia content, online platforms, e-learning platforms like Shikhok Batayan. In our education system, the government has also distributed free textbook in digital pro forma. Education in emergencies broadcast digital content through Bangladesh television and radio. In COVID-19, our education system is I think it's free and supportive measures. All primary level students are receiving stipend via electronic and transfer for EFT, for transparency and timelines. Secondary and higher education undergraduate students who are underprivileged, they also receiving stipend. But primary level, all students receive stipends. Distribution to mother, stipends distributed to mother and guardian mobile. Free textbook, large distributions to students at primary and secondary levels. A cap in all primary schools. Minimum 1 cup team is 6 to 10 years or all primary schools. Our Ministry of Education take initiative, awarded the best assistant teachers, male, female, and the best head teachers are selected to the sub-district, district, division, and national level every year for the purpose of promoting efficient and professional teachers. And Ministry of Education also honored outstanding teachers from across the country and of the prestigious National Teachers Award program every year for the purpose of improving the quality of education in Bangladesh. It's a good practice in our ministry, promote mental and physical health. It's Asia's largest institutional football tournament, source of producing national level player, grassroots to national level. School feeding program, it's expansion of government primary school feeding program to 150 upazila, aimed to improving enrollment, nutrition and attendance. Government provides for this purpose bread, eggs, meals, biscuits, banana, and seasonal fruits. So, key initiatives for ensure quality education, stipend program for the student for disadvantaged background, school feeding program, annual free textbook distribution covering to primary and secondary schools. Government ensured free primary education for all girls and boys. Previously, I always present of same good practices. Improving teaching and learning quality, continuous professional development training for teachers, integration ICT-based pedagogy through e-learning platforms, multimedia classroom and teacher resource centers, assessment reforms, now national student assessment and classroom-based assessment. And other key initiatives, revise and modernize competency-based national curriculum with emphasis on fundamental literacy and numeracy at primary and secondary level, Universities are being required to modernize curriculum to follow outcome-based education models to align more with global standard. Policy have been formed to include TVET, strengthen technical education, skill-based curriculum to meet labor market needs. Construction of modern climate resilient school building, gender segregated wash block in all school, provisions of safe drinking water and hand washing stations, initiatives for green schools and disaster resilient learning space. We have many challenges in our education sector, quality of education, that teaching quality, rote learning dominates, shortage of trained and qualified teachers in many areas, limited teachers training infrastructure, lack of motivation due to low salaries and limited career growth, no follow-up monitoring, inadequate classroom and sanitation, insufficient learning materials and ICT tools, limited internet access in rural schools, widening the education gap between rural and urban and rural students. Gender disparities, girls in many rural areas faces early marriage, domestic responsibilities, social norms, lower female enrollment in secondary and tertiary level, dropout rate, poverty, causes of dropout rate, poverty, child labor, early marriage, lack of engagement, particularly high in secondary school. Lack of research and innovation, low funding for research, lack of international collaboration. Higher secondary institutions in Bangladesh generally do very little research, and there is a minimal innovation in teaching methods or curriculum development. Overcrowded classroom in many schools, especially in cities, class size exceed to 80 students per schools. Teachers, so our teacher-student ratio 1:29 average. Individual students' attention is nearly impossible for this reason. Teachers are overbounded and unable to provide quality instructions. Our government take a future initiative, increase education budget to meet education sector needs, focus on teachers training and performance-based incentives, modernize curriculum and exam systems, expand digital education infrastructure, promote inclusive policies for marginalized communities, strengthen government monitoring and transparency, establish research centers focused on education policy, curriculum development, and pedagogical practices. Increase collaborations with global institutions for educational research and innovation, government increasing focus on science, technology, engineering and mathematics education to prepare students for the 21st century job markets. National skill policy, development policy aims to improve skill development programs, particularly for youth, to prepare them for the labor market. This is empowering tomorrow's generations, extensive service delivery, and at last, our government want to expected impact by 2034, a future-ready education system that contributes meaningfully to Bangladesh human capital and socio-economic development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Rebecca, for the insightful presentation and to see how Bangladesh is transforming education to reach every learner. I would like to highlight a bit about information that Ms. Rebecca has shown us. Bangladesh has a very big population comparing to countries like Thailand. They have 165 million population, such a big countries, and there are, we say, 20 million students. Okay, such a big countries, and you have primary enrollment rate 98%. That's a very universal primary education. You achieve quite nearly universal primary education rate. That's a very impressive information. And Ms. Rebecca also focused on the teacher development and digital transformation. They have professional development program. They have ICT integrated classroom. They have the you call IPE, or Integrated Primary Education Management Information System, which is in place, and many other programs. Also, you have commitment to the inclusivity and modernization of the education system, and you promote the multilingual education for children with disability, and so on. I think this is a very good information for us for this floor. Okay, for question and answer, we have a question and answer session after every speaker already give a talk. Okay, so now we turn to Bhutan, the country that reminds us that education is not only about knowledge and skill, but also about the harmony and happiness. To share Bhutan's story, we are delighted to welcome Mr. Chewang Chopel Dorji, Secretary of the Ministry of Education and Skill Development of Bhutan. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Chewang.
That's one of our newest institutions. It's the Druk Gyalpo Institution, the birthplace of the Bhutan Baccalaureate. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, Swadikap, and Kusuzampola. Let me begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the PMCA Foundation, firstly for the invitation to take part in the Princess Mahachakri Award 2025. It is a proud moment for Bhutan that Ms. Chimi Terma is the first teacher from our country to receive this distinguished recognition. May I also extend my warm congratulations to Dr. Krishnapong, Chairman of the Foundation, and all members of the PMCA Foundation for their unwavering commitment to honoring HRH Princess Siriadon's vision of celebrating educators who have made remarkable contributions to teaching. It is a great pleasure to be here in this session and to have the opportunity to share with you an overview of Bhutan's education system, its foundations, progress, and the journey we are undertaking to prepare our citizens for a rapidly changing world, guided by our development philosophy of gross national happiness, which places the well-being of people at the heart of progress. To give you context, let me start with a short introduction to Bhutan. The country is located in the eastern Himalayas, bordered by India and China, with a population of just over 770,000 people. And it covers an area of approximately 38,400 square kilometers. Our country is known for its pristine environment, with over 70% of the land under forest cover, making us one of the only 3 carbon negative countries in the world. Bhutan is a constitutional democratic monarchy where the king serves as the unifying and guiding figure within constitutional limits, while democratic institution ensures the people's active participation in governance. This deliberate blending of tradition and modernity, monarchy and democracy, shapes the nation's future in a balanced and harmonious way. At the heart of Bhutan's national development is the philosophy of gross national happiness, or GNH, which can be simply understood as development with values. It calls for progress that balances economic growth with spiritual, cultural, and environmental harmony. Naturally, this philosophy extends to education. Our schools are designed to nurture good human beings as much as capable professionals, equipping students with knowledge, skills, and moral character so they can contribute meaningfully to society while upholding Bhutan's cultural, ethical, and spiritual values. Bhutan is also known as the last bastion of Vajrayana Buddhism, a spiritual heritage that continues to shape our collective identity, sense of compassion, and commitment to holistic development. This unique blend of tradition, democracy, and GNH philosophy shapes our approach to education and the role it plays in national development. Bhutan's national priorities are deeply intertwined with education. As we transition to a knowledge-based and innovation-driven economy, the development of human capital becomes central. Education must equip our youth with skills that are relevant, adaptable, and forward-looking. At the same time, equity and inclusion remain critical. Our policies aim to ensure that every child, regardless of location or background, can access quality education. The 13th five-year plan, Bhutan works on a 5-year plan period, places education and skills at the heart of this transformation, ensuring every Bhutanese is prepared to participate in a more diversified, technologically enabled, and globally connected economy. Sustainability, community values, and ethical leadership are also embedded in our approach. Equally important are the values of integrity, compassion, and service. Our schools must nurture these as foundations for a cohesive society. Education plays a pivotal role in realizing our long-term vision of becoming a high-income and developed nation by 2034, while ensuring that growth remains inclusive and environmentally responsible. Our education aspirations are also aligned with the UN SDG Goal 4, ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. However, we interpret these global goals through our own unique lens of values, culture, and national context. To understand how these priorities are realized, let us look at our education system in detail. Bhutan's education system has evolved remarkably over the past decades. From a handful of monastic schools in the early 1960s, we now have a comprehensive modern education system that spans from early childhood to tertiary levels. The medium of instruction in all our schools are in English. School education in Bhutan is free up to grade 12, reflecting the state's strong commitment to equitable access and human development. Vocational education is also free, and at the tertiary level, education remains publicly funded but merit-based, ensuring that opportunities are both fair and aligned with national priorities. Today, youth literacy stands at around 93%, and adult literacy has reached about 71%, reflecting the country's commitment to education as a driver of human development. We have achieved universal primary education, and gender parity has been realized at the primary level. Our education system is guided by the Royal Kasho edict issued by His Majesty the King on education reform in 2020. The Royal Edict calls for a fundamental rethinking of education to align it with the demands of 21st century, a system that cultivates curiosity, competence, character, and a sense of service while preserving our national identity and values. In line with the Royal Edict or Kasho on education reform, our education transformation is guided by 4 pillars. These pillars reflect the deeper intent of the edict to transform our education system in ways that is meaningful, strategic, and lasting. The first pillar is curriculum enhancement and development, which is the heartbeat of an education system. The curriculum must be locally rooted, yet globally competent. It should nurture our Bhutanese values, language, and identity while preparing our young people to engage confidently in an interconnected world. This is where tradition meets transformation, creating learners who are both wise and capable. The second pillar is the professional development of teachers. We often say that you can have the finest instrument, but it takes a skilled musician to create beautiful music. In the same way, teachers transform curriculum into learning. They don't just deliver education, they define it. Our reform recognizes that teachers are the single most important factor shaping student learning. By investing in their growth, we invest in the nation's future. The third pillar is infrastructure improvement. If curriculum is the heart and teachers are the mind, then infrastructure is the body that holds it all together. Learning happens in the classrooms and increasingly in digital spaces. Our goal is to ensure every child learns in an environment that is safe, inclusive, and conducive to curiosity and creativity. The fourth pillar is governance and leadership. Strong, coherent, and consistent policies provide the foundation for an effective education system. Good governance empowers school leaders and teachers to focus on what matters most, teaching and learning. It ensures accountability, equity, and alignment with the broader national vision. Together, these 4 pillars form the backbone of Bhutan's education reform. They represent our collective effort to reimagine education for a future that is deeply Bhutanese in spirit and globally relevant in practice. Good practices and some major achievements. Bhutan's education system is deeply rooted in the principle of GNH, gross national happiness. GNH-based education, that is integrating values, ethics, and mindfulness and well-being into learning. The aim is to develop students who are not only intellectually competent, but also emotionally grounded and socially responsible. Mindfulness and well-being are integral parts of our pedagogy, not as separate subjects, but as lived values in classrooms. Teachers and students engage in reflective practices that nurture attention, empathy, and emotional intelligence. Our school also nurtures citizenship and social responsibility, encouraging students to partake in community service, environmental conservation, and cultural activities from an early age. We have made significant progress in early childhood care and development through multi-pronged approach aimed at expanding access and enhancing quality. Enrollment in early childhood has increased substantially, supported by initiatives such as home-based programs. Greater emphasis is now being placed on improving quality through the professionalization of early educators and continuous professional development. The ECCD curriculum is also undergoing comprehensive reform to establish a holistic learning framework. A strong emphasis is placed on inclusive and equitable access ensuring that children from all backgrounds, including those in remote areas, girls and children with disabilities are not left behind. Programs such as the school feeding program supports nutrition, enrollment and retention, ensuring that students come to school ready to learn. We are also expanding the use of digital technology in schools through the Education Technology Framework, aiming to enhance learning through blended modes, digital classrooms, and equitable access to online resources. Bhutan has also made strides in TVET reform through a dual education system that aligns learning with real-world skills and workforce needs. This is particularly important as Bhutan aspires to become a developed nation by 2034, and with projects like the Gelfu Mindfulness City, creating new opportunities for economic and human capital development. In parallel, Bhutan has developed the Bhutan Baccalaureate, a transformative learning framework that defines how education is conceived and delivered. The Bhutan Baccalaureate emphasizes holistic growth, intellectual, emotional, physical, and spiritual, and empowers learners to take responsibility for their own learning through reflection, inquiry, and service. It is a learning process from Bhutan, inspired by our philosophy of cross-national happiness, reminding us that meaningful and holistic education must emerge from within a nation's own wisdom and aspirations. Now to highlight some current challenges and future opportunities. Despite the significant progress made, Bhutan continues to face several challenges that require innovative and sustainable solutions. First, sustaining free and quality education across all levels is a growing concern. As our economy diversifies and expectations rise, balancing fiscal constraints with educational excellence will be critical. Second, Bhutan's rugged terrain presents logistical and financial challenges, particularly for schools in remote regions. For example, the school featured in the Oscar-nominated movie Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom, is a 4-day walk from the nearest vehicle-accessible road. Third, rural-urban migration is reshaping our education landscape. Parents increasingly want their children to study in urban centers, and students themselves aspire to move to towns where opportunities seem greater. This creates uneven distribution of students and teachers, placing pressure on urban schools, while rural ones risk depopulation. Fourth, teacher attrition is an emerging concern. While many trained teachers seek opportunities abroad, often they are employed in roles that underutilize their skills, not as classroom educators, but in minimal, unrelated jobs. This represents a form of brain waste rather than brain drain, and highlights the need to retain and motivate teachers in the profession. Fifth, the advent of AI, artificial intelligence, and digital technology presents both challenges and opportunities. AI and technology can enhance teaching and learning, especially in rural and remote schools, help address teacher shortages, and provide innovative personalized learning experience. At the same time, integrating AI effectively requires investments in digital infrastructure, curriculum upgrades, and teacher upskilling to ensure Bhutanese youth are not left behind in the global technological shift. Bhutan is actively onboarding innovative platforms such as Eduten and Kanmigo. Eduten provides interactive, adaptive learning experiences with mathematics, where we have seen encouraging results, while Kanmigo offers AI-driven tutoring and personalized support. In addition, Bhutan is also revamping its IT curriculum into digital technology and innovation, which will be taught from pre-primary all the way to higher secondary. This curriculum formally embeds innovation and digital citizenship across all stages of schooling, making Bhutan among the few countries to integrate innovation systematically into school curriculum. Beyond digital literacy and computational thinking, the curriculum aims to cultivate responsible digital citizens who can navigate online environments safely, ethically, and creatively, while applying problem-solving and innovative thinking skills essential for the 21st century economy. Amidst these challenges, there are also significant opportunities. The education reforms, guided by the 4 pillars, and the strengthening of vocational and educational tracks will equip Bhutanese youth with the competencies needed for a rapidly evolving economy. These reforms are directly aligned with our aspirations to become a developed nation by 2034 and to ensure that development is inclusive, value-based, and sustainable. The last slide. His Majesty had stated that we always repeat that His Majesty the 4th King, his father, once said that the future of our nation lies in the hands of our children. And His Majesty also said that we must know that his father meant that the quality of education for our young Bhutanese is of paramount importance, and that it is our duty today as parents, leaders, and citizens to provide it. We must ensure that the young hands grow to become strong and worthy of carrying our nation to greater heights. To conclude, Bhutan's education system reflects our national philosophy, rooted in values shaped by our culture and guided by the visionary leadership of our monarchs. As His Majesty has reminded us, the future of our nation lies in the hands of our children. Our task, therefore, is not merely to educate, but to inspire, empower, and nurture citizens who will build a just, sustainable, and enlightened society. In Bhutan, education is more than learning. It is the quiet work of nation building and shaping of hearts and minds that will safeguard our unity, harmony, and identity for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chewang, Secretary Chewang, for the inspirational presentation from Bhutan. I think we learned from the very unique countries and very unique education system. From what I heard, Bhutan trying and doing well to keep national philosophy while still also do modernization for the education system. Education as a pillar of the national development is very strong statement from the beginning, and the GNH-based education, gross national happiness-based education, is one of the base of the system. And there are 4 pillars of education: curriculum, professional development, infrastructure, governance, and leadership. And I love one statement very much from his presentation, say, teacher is the single most important factor to improve student learning. This is a very strong statement. This is in line with what PMCA is trying to do. Thank you very much for the inspiring presentation from Secretary Chewang. Thank you very much. Next, we like to go north to the Mongolia, a country where very strong commitment to expand access to quality education for every child, especially in the early childhood development. We are delighted to welcome Mrs. Mitmaj Jadamba, Director General of the Early Childhood Education Division. And today, she will be accompanied by Mr. J, First Secretary of the Mongolian Embassy in Thailand. So please join me to welcome Mrs. Mishmash and Mr. J.
Good afternoon. My name is Galdan Jamt Batnasan. Please call me Jay. So first of all, on behalf of the Embassy of Mongolia, I would like to take this moment to thank Dr. Krisanapong and our colleagues at the PMCA Award Foundation. First of all, the recognition of Mrs. Oyanga's dedication in teaching and as the first recipient of the award of PMCA award from Mongolia would give countless other teachers to continue striving for higher standards in education in Mongolia. So thank you. So I will start with the overall background of Mongolia. As you can see on the map, Mongolia is a landlocked country located between Russia and China, with approximately 1.56 million square kilometers, making it one of the largest countries in the world with one of the lowest population densities. As of 2025, our population is at 3.5 million. With roughly half of the population residing in the capital of Ulaanbaatar city. Mongolia has a rich nomadic heritage, and it is a democratic nation with a parliamentary system established after the transition in the 1990s. The society balances rapid modernization and urbanization with efforts to preserve nomadic traditions. And Mongolia is also a quite young country with a median age of 26.9 years old. So as I mentioned, our population is 3.5 million with an urbanization rate of 69%, and the median age is 26.9, which reflects that Mongolia is quite relatively young and urbanizing society. Also, the country demonstrates strong digital connectivity with around 4.9 mobile users, with the usage rate of 141%. I would like to also mention that the government's flagship digital services platform, eMongolia, has seen a rapid adoption of 2.2 million registered users here, which is equivalent of 88% usage rate among adults. These numbers highlight that Mongolia's strong foundation for digital transformation, driven by high mobile connectivity, broad internet access, and increasing reliance on digital platforms for communication and government services. Mongolia's education system is structured into several levels. Early childhood education from ages 2 to 5. General education is a 12-year program structured as 5 elementary, middle school, and high school. And also vocational and technical education and higher education. Compulsory education includes 1 year of preschool prior to primary entry and the full cycle of general education. Lifelong learning framework integrates formal, non-formal, and informal education, enabling continuous learning from early childhood to adulthood. These indicators collectively highlight Mongolia's strong commitment to human development, widespread literacy, and inclusive access to education across all age groups. According to the recent statistics by the Ministry of Education, the early childhood education system demonstrates broad reach with 90% enrollment rate, with a total of 1,407 kindergartens. Also, the private sector plays a significant role here, which is operating the 410 privately owned kindergartens. As well, we have around almost 10,000 teachers in early childhood education system. General education. The enrollment rate is 98.2%. The system serves to 797,000 students. And of these students, 76,000 are in private schools. The higher education system. In Mongolia, we have 64 higher education institutions, with 16 being state-owned. According to the latest statistics, the total enrollment rate is 150,000. The first year bachelor degree students are 23,000, and the number of foreign students are around 4,558 across from 32 countries. Okay, next I would like to highlight Mongolia's education system is guided by the strategic direction set out in the Vision 2050 long-term development policy, which positions education as a cornerstone of human development, economic diversification, and social well-being. This vision is reinforced by Mongolia's Sustainable Development Vision 2030, which underscores education's role in fostering inclusive growth, poverty reduction, and sustainable development through the cultivation of skilled, innovative, and environmentally conscious citizens. In alignment with these long-term goals, the 24-28 Government Action Program prioritizes enhanced workforce readiness, strengthening technical and vocational education and training, and advancing digital transformation across all education levels to prepare learners for participation in a knowledge-based, innovation-driven economy. Complementing these efforts, the Digital Nation Strategy accelerates the integration of ICT skills, digital literacy, and digital learning system, ensuring that citizens are equipped to thrive in an increasingly digital society. At the same time, ensuring equitable access to quality education, particularly for rural, elder, and vulnerable populations, remain a key priority. Alongside embedding green education and sustainability awareness into the curriculum to support Mongolia's transition towards a sustainable, inclusive economy. The recent 2023 education law further operationalizes these priorities by establishing a competency-based, learner-centered curriculum, strengthening education governance, and expanding opportunities for lifelong learning. It guarantees the right to inclusive education, integrates citizenship, cultural identity, and environmental responsibility into learning process, and aligns with the country's vision of developing creative, ethnical, and globally minded citizens. Mongolia's education policy direction, as outlined in Vision 2050, the Government Action Program, and the Education Sector Midterm Development Plan, emphasizes inclusivity, quality, and adaptability to the digital era. Vision 2050 envisions a holistic approach to human development, aiming to provide all citizens with equal access to quality education and to reform the education system, be inclusive and future ready. In recent years, Mongolia's education sector has made significant strides through strategic reforms and policy actions that reflect the government's strong commitment to equitable and quality education. One of the most notable achievements is the curriculum reform introduced on the 2023 education package. This academic year, a renewed framework was implemented for early childhood education, emphasizing play-based, child-centered, and competency-based learning approaches in the academic year. Similar reforms will be extended to general education, ensuring alignment across all levels of school. These updates aim to cultivate essential 21st century skills, enhancing outcomes to create a more inclusive, future-ready education system in line with Mongolia's Vision 2050 education sector midterm development plans. Another major achievement is designation of 2026 as the Year of Education, which underscores the government of Mongolia's priority of education as national development driver. The designation ensures dedicated budgetary support and policy attention for major education reforms, including teacher development, curriculum renewal, and infrastructure expansion. By formally recognizing education as a key national focus, the government demonstrates a long-term commitment to building a knowledge-based society and strengthening human capital for sustainable development. The third key achievement is the advance of inclusivity and accessibility across the education system. Innovative approaches such as the Bag School model, developed through a public-private partnership between the Ministry of Education, UNICEF, and Hambang, are helping bridge rural-urban gaps in access to quality education. For instance, the kindergarten and primary school established in Minimbag of Tatsum, Toronto province, provides children of border guards and heritage with the opportunity to study close to home. This initiative has reduced the need for young children to relocate to some or AMIC centers, supporting family cohesion while expanding access to early and primary education in remote areas. The fourth major achievement in Mongolia's education sector is the advance of digital transformation, which is reshaping teaching, learning, and education management through innovation and strong public-private partnerships. Under the Ministry of Education's digital strategy, the government has prioritized computerizing teachers and students, establishing digital classrooms, and expanding ICT-based training. To date, over 721,758 students and more than 32,000 teachers have benefited from digital device distribution, with plans to implement one-to-one student-to-device program covering more than 540,000 learners. Additionally, more than 800 digital classrooms are being established nationwide, alongside the installation of 450 Starlink satellite devices and 690 cache servers to improve internet speed and access in remote schools. Through this initiative, the internet speed in schools has tripled on average, which ensures equitable connectivity across urban and rural areas. Mongolia has also strengthened international and private sector collaboration, notably with Google for Education, Pearson, EduPen, and Mosaic Twin. Enhance digital literacy and integrate AI and cloud-based technologies into classrooms. The Medal.mn digital school now hosts over 21,000 open learning contents, supporting blended and self-paced learning across all levels of education. Furthermore, through these partnerships, Mongolia is rolling out computer science education from grade 3 embedding coding, robotics, and artificial intelligence fundamentals in the general curriculum. Programs like Equal and Google Family Link also ensure safe and inclusive digital participation, equipping learners, parents, teachers with the skills and tools for responsible digital engagement. As the challenges in education, current challenges, I believe every country, every nation has the similar problems, not only Mongolia. Despite Mongolia's strong commitment to education reform and progress, the sector continues to face several financial, infrastructural, and human resource challenges. Like other countries around the world, Mongolia is grappling with the teacher shortage, which affects the quality and accessibility of education across urban and rural areas. Ensuring adequate teacher training, fair remuneration, and social protection remains a top priority to attract and retain skilled educators. Similarly, the rapid pace of digitalization has revealed gaps in technological infrastructure. With limited access to digital tools and resources, currently one computer is shaped approximately 20 students, underscoring the need for sustained investment in ICT. Financial constraints further impact school infrastructure, learning environments, and equitable access to educational opportunities. Nevertheless, there is a strong national determination and collective will to overcome these barriers. Through continued implementation, policy innovation, public-private partnerships, and targeted investments, Mongolia remains hopeful and steadfast in its mission to build more inclusive, high-quality, future-ready education system for all. Looking ahead, Mongolia's education sector stands at a pivotal moment with vast opportunities to accelerate transformation and innovation. Ongoing curriculum reform, expansion of digital learning environments, and strengthened public-private partnerships create a strong foundation for modern, inclusive, and globally competitive education. Investments in teacher development, AI, and data-driven decision-making and digital infrastructure will enhance learning equality and equity across all regions. Additionally, initiatives such as the Year of the Education 2026 provide momentum and budgetary support to scale impactful reforms, while programs like Hugging Back to School demonstrate new models for reaching remote and marginalized communities. By leveraging emerging technologies, international cooperation, and local innovation, Mongolia has a unique opportunity to build an education system that nurtures lifelong learning, supports the diverse needs, and prepares all learners to thrive in the 21st century knowledge economy. That is all for our PowerPoint presentation. Thank you.
Okay, for the very informative and inspiring presentation from Mongolia. I catch 3 points from Mongolia. First one, Mongolia is expanding access and inclusivity for the student enrollment, and I think Mongolia achieved a very high enrollment rate also for the early childhood and the general education. Okay. Second, Mongolia also very much focus on quality and modernization. There are strategies that implementing curriculum reform, teacher development, quality assurance system under the so-called Vision 2050 and the Government Action Plan 2024 to 2028 to enhance the teaching standard and learning outcome. And also, I heard about the advancing of digital transformation that very much focused on like digital school program, digital. There is the strategy called Digital Nation Strategy 2025. Okay, so Mongolia is integrating technology into the education, management, classroom learning, promoting e-learning, and the nationwide connectivity. So thank you very much for the insightful presentation and information. Okay, next we would like to hear from Malaysia. We turned a little bit because the three new countries, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Mongolia, introducing their general information about the country and also general information about the education system. But for Malaysia, we are like neighbor, so we learn a lot for the general information already. But today, we focus on the technical and vocational education and training, or TVET, which is very lucky for us that we have Dr. Jahan bin Asanakuti, Senior Deputy Director of the TVET Division, Ministry of Education of Malaysia, that we present about the TVET education system of Malaysia. Please join me to welcome Dr. Shah.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Great day to all distinguished guests, high officials from the Ministry of Education, teachers, because I think we are all, most of us are teachers here, ladies and gentlemen, in Thai word is Sawasti. Thank you very much to give an opportunity for Malaysia to present the TVET, what we are having in TVET. So before I start, let me clear what is all about TVET. When we say about TVET, when we look around us in this room, for example, we have this microphone here, we have this beautiful flowers here. There should be some people that have a skill to do this. So the skill is important. So when we see inside this room, a lot of things, everything is done by someone, and these people that have the skill. So that is TVET. So TVET is very important. As the chairman of PMCA, Dr. Christopher mentioned, education for all and no child left behind. It is only with TVET we can do that. Because TVET, it will cater every child. I mean, it can go beyond every child. It's not about those who having a high IQ or high knowledge. It can go to every kid. So let me start my slide here. Okay, since I think although we are neighbors, but I think we are also some from other countries, so let me get some fact about Malaysia. So Malaysia, we have around 34 million people. So there's a multiracial country, and there's Malays, or called it Bumiputra, Indians, Chinese, and also our indigenous communities. So this is rich in heritage, and we are a very mixed culture in Malaysia. And as you all know, Malaysia, there is two parts of Malaysia. It's called West and East. Okay, West and East Malaysia. Malaysia is called the two places. I mean, if we see to the geography, it is one is Malaysia, where we sit in the Kuala Lumpur is here. Another one is Sabah and Sarawak in the Borneo Island. So, when you say about the religion, the Islam is the major religion in Malaysia, as well as Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, and traditional belief also, and also the indigenous group, the beliefs also exist in Malaysia. And the main language in Malaysia is Bahasa Melayu. Although it is a national language, but we have all other language. Even English, Mandarin, Tamil also is taught in our nation school. Okay, next slide. So let me go to see what is the Malaysian TVET landscape. So when we say in Malaysia, technical and vocational education training, or TVET, plays a vital role in developing a skilled and competitive workforce. So the TVET ecosystem in Malaysia, we have 12 ministries, such as Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Youth, Ministry of Human Resources, and there's 12 ministries. We all work together for this TVET program. And if you can see that there is 1,345 TVET institutions, comprising of 669 from the government institution, 652 from private institution, and 24 state-level institutions. So this demonstrates the Malaysian commitment for the vocational educational studies in Malaysia. So why is it important? What is the importance of the TVET? Because we look at TVET as a game changer for the national development. So because the industry needs to ensure that our programs align with the job market. So when the industry needs skilled people, so we have to make sure that we are producing the right people for them. And you see, another thing is it boosting the employability. So by giving our graduates with practical skills, their employability rate is high. So I can say that from the TVET institution, the students come out from the TVET institution, more than 90% are employed. And the third one, you can see that the economic growth. Yes, to a nation to prosper during these days, skilled workers are important for a nation. And we can say that skilled workers can be a currency for a government, for a nation. How strong the skilled workers, it will show that how strong the nation is. That's why we have the foreign countries like Germany, Switzerland, where they have very high income because they have a lot of skilled people there. So we are also in the part of producing that kind of people. And four things, we see that the reducing youth unemployment. Yes, because if we rely only on jobs, on the high-skilled jobs, for example, doctors, engineers, teachers, then our youth, they can't find a job with their knowledge level. That's why with TVET, when they have a TVET skills, they can work in any field with their skills. So to make sure that the employment rate is high, so no one is dropped out. Same thing goes to the school. In schools, we know that not every children like to read and do the memory. If not every children. So that's why we have a dropout in schools, because they can't memorize a lot of things. They can't pour it back in the exams. So TVET give a way for this type of student so they can do some skill works. They can learn by doing skills, and the dropout in the school also we can reduce. So it's important. And lifelong learning. When we say lifelong learning, TVET is lifelong learning. So that is in our in Malaysia also. So every day we learn something new. I think we also in the generation, a different generation, we learn something new every day. Last time we don't know what is all about AI, now we know. Last time we don't know about computer, now we know. Even those days they don't know how to operate a telephone, and now they can do. So all these are skills. And supporting our national competent. Yeah? So this is also important in our so the right one, the applied employment outcomes. So TVET in Malaysia has proven to be effective in producing highly employable graduates who are able to secure jobs soon after completing their studies. A large number of our students are absorbed in key sectors such as services, manufacturing, construction, agriculture, and a lot of industries. However, despite this positive outcome, there are still challenges that we have to address because nowadays there's a new skills are more needed in our industry. For example, when the EV cars comes, so when we have all the old type of vehicles, where we use carburetors, and those skills already out. Now we have to reskill our students. We can have to give them the new skills. For example, the EV cars, the hydrogen fuel. All these are new things, and we also have to come with new things to teach our students. Okay, in this slide here, this one I will focus on what is called the TVET education under the Ministry of Education. So the Ministry of Education is under the Ministry of Education, not other ministries. There is various TVET programs as a choice for students, and also depends on their interests, abilities, and career appreciation. So you can see here, the first one is the vocational colleges. This first pathway is through vocational colleges where students undergo 4 years of study and 6 months on job training. So upon completion, they will receive 2 certificates, that is a Malaysian Vocational Certificate, Malaysian Skills Certificate Level 3, and a diploma. So these students from the vocational colleges, after they finish the 4.5 years, they will get a diploma and the certificates of skill certificates. That is a vocational college. So we have here, we can see here, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of TVET in education under the Ministry of Education. So first is vocational. Second is the technical school. This is called the MPET, the technical school. So in this technical school, there's a 2-year program. The Form 4 and Form 5 students, therefore the student who take part in this program will receive Malaysian Certificate of Education with technical subjects and elective options. So these students a bit higher in the IQ, this group, where they got prospered to become an engineers, or they can employ with high skills industries. And the third one here is the PVMA. The PVMA it is the Upper Secondary Vocational Program. Okay, it's run 2 years, and this one again now the emphasize of the PVMA. Now we have vocational schools and vocational colleges. Another one is a technical school, and this PVMA, the Upper Secondary Vocational Program, it is inside the secondary school. It's inside the secondary school where the student take the TVET subjects and they will get certificates. Malaysian Skills Certificate Level 3 and Malaysian Certificate of Education. Another one, the interesting one is the PIMA there. Actually, it stands for the Upper Secondary Industrial Apprenticeship Program. In this program, the interesting is 2 days they will go to school, and 3 days they go to industry. So they come to school for 2 days, the rest 3 days they go for industry. Any industry that attached to the school. So for example, if they are learning about welding or automotive, So they will go 3 days for the mathematics, 2 days they will learn the theory in the schools. Okay. So this is another formal apprentice vocational training program run by big industry. Even we work with McDonald's. So the student will go to the McDonald's for 3 days and 2 days they will get. So they will learn that the culinary, about the preparing the food, all those things they will learn there. Yeah. So it is very valuable. This is important. Which group? Those students who intend to drop out, they do got no interest in learning, right? They want to go to work or they're not interested in school. So these type of students, when you give them the free mark, they're really interested. So because they can do what they like. And at the same time, we give them the formal education in schools also. And the MPV and MP there, the MPV, it is called vocational subjects. Vocational subject, our students to study vocational activity alongside with their Malaysian certificate education. This one is inside the school, in our secondary school, where they take the vocational subjects. And next one is the MBPK there. The MBPK is the special education vocational schools provide opportunities for students with special needs. As I said earlier, all child have a chance, even they are special needs children, even they are deaf or they can't, they are special. We have a schools that provide them with necessary skills for them to work in the day after they come out from the school. So here also these students will get the Malaysian Skill Certificate level 2 for this student. Okay, that's next. Okay, now you can see the student enrollment here in this slide here. Overall, there is 2,160 schools offering TVET programs nationwide, and this one, the vocational college, is the largest group with 86 institutions. Yeah, followed by 1,162 schools implementing the MPA program and 550 schools offering the MP program. So this enrollment across this institution total, you can see there is 186,397 students from all these programs. So you can see here, there's the data shows that what's the total of a student, and we have teachers. The TVET teachers here, we got 14,812. And how many programs are there? 118 programs. What are the programs? Programs means from culinary, bakery, okay, serving to make the shirts, automobile, agriculture. So there is a variety of programs. There is 118 programs. Okay, next slide. Okay, how the Malaysian government started here. So the positioning of technical and vocational education training TVET in Malaysia is guided by several key national policies that emphasize its importance in strengthening the country's human capital development. Okay, let me see here. The first one is the Malaysian Education Blueprint, that is 2013 to 2025. It identifies TVET as a critical component in preparing a workforce that meets industry needs. Under this blueprint, TVET has been strengthened through current reforms focusing on expanding accesses, improving quality, and aligning programs with labor market requirements. For example, the introduction of industry-based curricula and dual certification programs help ensure that students acquire both theoretical knowledge and hands-on skills that are relevant to employees. That is our Malaysian education blueprint. So under this, we already standardized for the TVET education. So next is our national TVET policy. Under this, the National TVET Policy 2030 positions when they come out from the university, what work are these students are going to do? So we have to work together. Then only the TVET will success in the country. So the third one here, New Industrial Master Plan 2030, or we call it NIM, highlight the need to extend TVET programs for high-skilled jobs in critical sectors such as advanced manufacturing, green technology, and digital industries. The government also emphasizes close cooperation with the private sector to enhance program equality. For example, industry players are now more engaged or involved in our curriculum development, industry placement, and graduate recruitment to ensure training outcomes meet real industry demands. In easy word, I say that when we develop our curriculum, we call the industry come and sit together. So they will advise us how the curriculum should be, what the needs for them. So there is a concept where the industry also will sit together when we develop the curriculum. And lastly, under the 13th Malaysian Plan, the government aims to strategize TVET offerings by focusing on high growth and high value sectors. This includes preparing Malaysians for advanced technology-based careers such as robotics, automation, and renewable energy. Such realignment ensures that TVET remains relevant in driving Malaysian transition toward a knowledge-based and innovation-driven country. In summary, these national policies collectively position TVET as a strategic enabler of Malaysian economic transformation, ensuring that our education system continue to produce skilled, adaptable, and future-ready talent for the nation's growth. So here, the National TVET Policy Framework for Governance serves as a foundation for the strengthening Malaysians' technical and vocational education ecosystem. It focuses on 5 main areas. Okay, the first one is the National TVET Council. Okay, so here it's make everyone work together. Then the second one here, okay, we have to make sure that the focus on world-class quality and education pathways. So TVET qualifications are now aligned with the Malaysian qualification framework to ensure international recognition and consistency across all training institutions. So this alignment allows Malaysian TVET graded to further their studies locally and abroad, similar to how degree holder process their higher education system worldwide. So here what I mentioned is to make sure our TVET programs, it must be qualified. So there is a standard that we have to follow. There's a standard under the Malaysian qualification framework. We have to apply, so everything is, we agree or we can do all this. So this is important. If not, everyone will give a skill and no one is going to control the quality of the program. So all the program must be quality. So the third area is emphasizes efficient and productive industry collaboration. So industry is very important. So the government provides various incentives such as tax relief, human resource development cooperation, levy exemption, and recognition schemes to encourage industries to actively participate in TVET implementation. For example, the Ministry of Education has established collaboration with well-known companies such as Proton, Petronas, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, Top Glove, and Toyota, Honda, also to provide industry training placements, apprenticeship programs, and curriculum development support. So through these partnerships, students gain hands-on experiences using real industrial equipment, while teachers receive industry exposure that strengthens classroom instruction. The fourth focus on sustainable TVET is financing, which ensures that the long-term viability of TVET initiative. Funding is strengthened through public-private partnerships, the establishment of skill development funds, industry co-investment, and the expansion of micro-credential platform for learners. So these measures ensure that TVET institutions can continue upgrading infrastructure, equipment, and training quality without over-reliance on government funding alone. So to easily say that, the industry will provide assistance. For example, for the EV cars, for example, so recently Mazda, they agreed to provide our school with the engines, the EV engines, so our students can learn from the new engines. So because if we want the government want to buy all those things, is expensive. Yeah. So the industry, we really need the industry. Okay. Lastly, the policy framework aim to position TVET as the preferred career choice among student and parents. This is achieved by increasing pathway for TVET graded to further the studies in higher education, such as professional certification, or even venture in entrepreneurship. For example, vocational graduates can now continue to technical universities to start their own or they can start their enterprises with the skills they've acquired. So now we already make that all our students from the vocational college, they can go to the university or they can become an entrepreneur. So in conclusion, the National TVET Policy Framework and Governance reflect Malaysia's strong commitment to creating a coordinated, high-quality and industry-driven TVET ecosystem. It ensures that TVET remains a respected, viable, and globally competitive education pathway for all Malaysians. Next. Okay. Teachers' development in TVET. Okay. Because we have to reskill our teachers, because the industry changed, the machine changed, the technology changed. So our teachers also have been reskilled over the times. So we need the industry to help us. So what we do is industrial achievement training. So one of the key initiatives under teachers development in TVET is the industrial attachment training program. So our teachers, within 2 years, they must have 1 month exposure in the industry. If, for example, if they are teaching, for example, if I'm taking the automobile industry, for example, then they must go to industry for 1 month, at least for 1 year. They must be there so that they will get the latest knowledge. Okay, so this program provides teachers with a structured period of exposure in industrial environments such as factories, companies, or workshops where they can gain hands-on real-world experience that complement their classroom instructions. The objective is to ensure teachers stay current with modern technologies and industrial practices, making the teaching more relevant and effective. Between 2022 and 2025, 3 years, we have a total of 795 TVET teachers that participated in this program. So they acquire new insight in the production process, the quality control, the safety standards, a lot of things. So the teachers will be there. And next is upskilling and reskilling TVET trainings abroad. What we do here is to make our trainers to gain the latest knowledge abroad of Malaysia, to go to foreign countries. So we send them also. So from 2023 to 25, a total of 69 TVET teachers had participated in this initiative. These educators attended structured training, industrial attachment, and professional development programs in countries known for strong TVET systems such as Germany, South Korea, and Japan. So, for example, teachers attending training in Germany are opposed to the dual training system where theory and practice are integrated through close cooperation between schools and industries. And the third one here, the important was the certification and recognition. So the third component under the teacher development in TVET focuses on certification and recognition. This initiative ensures that all TVET teachers possess dual qualification, combining both academic credential and professional or skill-based certification. So they must have academic, they must have skill. So they must have two qualifications. Such dual competency is essential to maintain the quality, credibility, and professionalism of TVET educators across the nation. So by 2025, the Ministry of Education targets 2,548 certificate trainers under this program. So these certificates are aggregated by recognized agencies such as the Malaysian Board of Technologies, the Department of Skills Development, and international certification bodies. These ensure that Malaysian TVET trainers meet both national and global standards in their respective technical fields. So our teachers, they cannot simply with the degree from the university, they can just teach in the technical schools. They must also have another certificate, the skill certificate. They must go to the industry. So for example, a teacher specializing in engineering technology may obtain recognition as a professional technologist under the Malaysian Board of Technologies, while an instructor in the hospitality and culinary field may earn certification through the Department of Skill Development. So this combination of academic and professional qualification not only enhances the teacher's credibility, but also ensure that students receive training and reflects real-world industry expectation and global best practices. Next. And I come to the industry linkages and employability. So the Ministry of Education continues to strengthen its effort to ensure that TVET graduates are highly employable and industry ready. So several key initiatives have been implemented to achieve this, focusing on employment outcomes, curriculum relevance, and close collaboration with industry partners. So what we aim, so the first focus is the skill employment by 2025. The ministry targeted, we targeted 90,000 TVET graduates, 90,000 graduates by 2025, end of this year. However, as for 2024, we already exceeded, the total now is 93,000. So we already achieved more than what we targeted. So this achievement reflects the ministry's strong commitment to expanding access, ensuring that more Malaysians are equipped with skills needed in today's job market. graduate teacher studies employability here, under this focus, the graduate tracer studies employability. According to Ministry of Education tracer data, 70% of our TVET graduates, those come out are employed as skilled workers. 70%, where the another 30%. So 20% they continue studies in the higher education. Another 10% become entrepreneurs. So all are good. Either they become entrepreneurs or they become a graduate also good, or they become a worker also good. It's important for the nation. So for occasional colleges, we have employability, as I mentioned, 99%. Okay, the curriculum and program development. So the ministry ensures that every TVET program is developed with active involvement from industry partners. So all the programs, we must have our industry partners. All. If it is making the food, culinary something, they must have a partner from the hotels. So they can get the real experience and real things what they want to learn. Yeah? So the ministry ensures that every TVET program is developed, involved for industry partners. And it must be, for example, in engineering and manufacturing fields, industries such as TNB, Petronas, and UMW Toyota contribute to curriculum design to ensure that training content matches actual industrial requirements. And the last one is the public-private partnership. Lastly, the ministry continues to promote public-private partnership and strengthen collaboration through memorandum of understanding with industries and agencies. So today, we have 13 MOUs have been signed with strategic partners to provide student internship, employment pipelines, and industrial training for both students and instructors. So we have a lot of industries. We already make MOU with them, where our students will get the training. Because once they are learning during the vocational college, for 6 months they have to go for the on-the-job training. So we must make sure the industry take them, to train them, and give them good experience so they become a worker for them. But most of the time, when our student go to the on-job training in the industry, when they graduated, the same industry will pick up the students. Because the industry also, they like it. This is the initiative that we have. So I think we go to the slide, next slide. Okay, yeah. So, whatever we do, everything we do, sure there is some challenges. One of the challenges is, although TVET, we can say that very important for the nation, and the students' employability rate is high, but still parents, they are not aware of this. The parents feel that all the academically knowledge is more important. We know that it is important, but for the TVET pathway is already good. It can give a very good return back for their, once the student come to the TVET system. So the misconception of TVET for students, for lower academic performance is still there. So we have to break the things, and we have to make the slogan that TVET is the main curriculum also in Malaysia. So that is our initiative right now. The second challenges is the geographical and regional gaps, because our institution cannot be distributed evenly all over the countries. So the students have to move from rural or some part to gain some good knowledge in the urban areas. The same thing, I think our friends also mentioned this thing. So this is all happening in Malaysia, there's the challenges. And resource constraints, of course, institution of shortage in funding, sufficient modern training equipment. As I said, mentioned, all our I mean, when we do an industry setup in our school, it really costs. When the industry change and new things come in, when we want to have those things in our schools, it really costs a lot. So we have to, stage by stage only, we can upgrade all the facilities in our schools. We can't just follow right what is happening in the industries. So, and the social profession also there, who thought that TVET is less prestigious than academic education. So I think we have to change that. Now TVET is already have a good place. Okay, the future opportunities. Moving forward, there are several future opportunities that can be leveraged to further strengthen Malaysia's TVET systems and ensure its continued relevance in rapidly evolving global economy. The first opportunity that we have is the Industry 4.0 and digitalization. As industries adopt new technologies such as automation, artificial intelligence, and robotic and digital systems, there is a growing need for a workforce equipped with these advanced skills. So TVET institutions are now expanding the program to include models in industrial robotics, machine learning, and digital manufacturing. So preparing students to take on future-oriented jobs in smart factories and technology-driven industries. Okay, so there is a hope for TVET because we need mostly skilled workers. As I said earlier, that the TVET it is a currency. Skilled workers are currency for a nation. So there is a future for the TVET education. So our students, we must give them an opportunity. Every student must have at least some skill in any jobs, so that the employment rate will be, there will no student be left out. So actually TVET is not a new thing in Malaysia. It's not the new thing in the world, I think. TVET already starts from the early age. I mean, when the parents teach their students how to do fishing, how to do the net, how to do the boat, it is TVET. Even Malaysia already started also, but it evolved. Our technical schools, our oldest technical school in Malaysia is already 100 years. First, the school was started for carpenting, metalworks, electrical, simple one. But today, that same school still exists. Now the school is already evolved to AI-powered classroom. We are also having an AI-powered lab in that school. It's already changed from carpenter, from very sophisticated AI ideas today. So it will evolve. TVET will evolve. The most important is TVET is important for a nation to grow. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Cha, for your very, very, very comprehensive and interesting presentation. Okay, so your presentation provides us the valuable perspectives and how Malaysia integrates the technical and vocational education into the national development agenda. Thank you very much. From your presentation, I can catch three major issues from presentation. Firstly, Malaysia has developed a strategic national priority. TVET is positioned as a key driver for Malaysia's transition to the high-income, skill-based economy. And you have the National TVET Council and Malaysia Education Blueprint, which TVET is one of the key policy inside. Okay. Secondly, Malaysia have a strong industry linkage that leads to the high employability through partnership with industry. Malaysia TVET program emphasizes on the job training, dual certificates, employability, which very impressively achieving over 99% of employment for vocational graduates. And the third point is that Malaysia empower TVET teacher by teacher development program, including the industry attachment, the dual qualifications, okay, and the international training program, and you have focus also on the digitalization, industry 4.0 skill, and also inclusive access to the diverse learner. So very comprehensive and insightful information from your presentation. Thank you very much. And now we have come to the last part of the sessions where we will have the question and answer from all the speakers. Unfortunately, high official from Bhutan has some other engagement, so he already left for the engagement. But we still have 3 speakers here, and while we are waiting for the arrangement, I already asked for permission from the speaker to distribute the documents, the slide, to the audience. We will put the slide on the website of the PMCA Foundation, www.pmca.or.th. We will put them on the website very soon after this. Okay? So you can do download and also study or explore more from that document. Okay, so I think please wait for a few minutes for the arrangement. And while waiting, after these sessions, I think we still have another session up there on the 2nd floor in the Grand Ballroom, where the PMCA recipients from 14 countries are talking about their works and their achievement, and also inspirational information for you. So after we complete this one around 5 o'clock, you are all invited to join the Grand Ballroom session, which is we call the Plenary session 1 up there. Okay, so after this you can still have time. You are invited to join that session. Okay, I think we are ready for this. So may I invite our speaker up to the stage, Dr. Cha, Ms. Rebecca, and also the Ms. Ma and Mr. J. If you make a question in English, you can ask directly to the speakers. That if you make a question in Thai, I will try to translate your questions to the speaker also, and speaker will answer to you. And I think you have the headphone that you can get translation from the interpreter. Okay, so I think there are many questions await because somebody come to ask me. There are many questions that I want to ask you. Okay, I think any questions that you want to ask first. Okay, Dr. Krishnapong, please.
Thank you very much. Impressed by the information that I received from the 4 speakers. I have some very simple questions for Bangladesh. The working language is Bangla. Bangla is Bangla, right?
Our official language, Bangla.
And the schools use Bangla as well.
We have 3 types of school: Bangla medium, English medium, and madrasa. English medium is also follow British curriculum, and Bangla medium school follow Bangla, our own curriculum.
What would be the how do you treat English as a language for Bangla schools?
2 subjects are Bengali grammar and literature, every class.
And at what grade do you start teaching English to students?
English school follow British curriculum.
Just British curriculum,
British curriculum.
but it's not a second or foreign language for
No,
Bangla school.
no, we have no foreign, second foreign.
What is the proportion of schools that use English or English curriculum? The fraction of schools,
Sorry.
the percentage of schools that use English curriculum,
Percentage of the school.
roughly.
Roughly we have the data. Number of English medium institution 123. 123.
Thank you. For Mongolia, Mrs. Ikama, again, I will ask, what's the guidelines for teaching English in your schools? That's one thing. The guideline for teaching English in Mongolian schools. The second is that now Mongolia has joined PMCA. What would you like to work with PMCA countries from Mongolian point of view?
For the first question, in Mongolia, since third grade, English is taught at all schools. This was done since the new education law in 2023, and now all schools, starting from the third grade, are taught English.
And the second question, coming into PMCA family, what would you like to work with?
As for the second question, we want to increase our cooperation between Mongolia and PMCA, including exchange of teachers, and we want more engagement with PMCA.
Okay. At least we start with exchange of teachers and so on. And for Malaysia, I'm very impressed with your systematic description of Malaysian TVET. If any of us would like to start TVET, they could use Malaysia as a model, turning around all 14 PMCA countries. About 10 years ago, I noticed that the emphasis is towards vocational education and now TVET. I hope that the rest of us can work with Malaysia on TVET system. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for the words. We really appreciate that. And we like to work if anyone want to come from the 10 countries, want to come and work with us, no problem to come and explore or to come and observe our colleges, schools, mostly welcome.
We might ask Rossi now to cover.
Yes, sure.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have a gentleman on the back of the room, please.
ครับขอสอบถามเป็นภาษาไทยนะครับรบกวน translator นะครับ
Can I introduce you first? คุณสมัย
ไม่เป็นไรครับผม ผมบอกว่าผมเป็นไม่ได้เป็นนักการศึกษานะครับ ผมไม่ได้เป็น
ไปนิดครับ
ไม่เป็นครู ผมชื่อสมหมายปริชัดนะครับ ผมเป็น Mass Media เป็นนักหนังสือพิมพ์
นิดนึงครับ
ใช่ครับ
คุณสมัย is a very senior character in our media system. This is he writes regularly on the education and human resources. I just read your article. You questioned the new minister about education. He's highly respected. Okay.
ครับ ขอบคุณครับ คำถามแรก เป็นคำถามในเชิงโครงสร้างนะครับ เนื่องจากผมเป็นนักหนังสือพิมพ์นะ ก็ไม่ได้พูดถึงการศึกษาเพื่อการศึกษาอย่างเดียวแต่การศึกษามีผลกระทบจากทางด้านการเมืองเศรษฐกิจทุกๆด้านคำถามก็คือว่าทุกท่านนะครับ ผลกระทบในการจัดการศึกษาที่เกิดจากความเปลี่ยนแปลงทางการเมือง ไม่ขาดทำให้การดำเนินการในการศึกษาขาดความต่อเนื่องทางนโยบาย ในแต่ละประเทศของท่านมีประเด็นนี้บ้างไหมครับนี่คือคำถามแรกครับ
Okay, as Dr. Krishnapong said, he's the one of the very well-known persons and in mass media. So he first question he asked about the more structural questions about if there is any political transition that make any obstacle or discontinuity of the policy that impact to education. Is this a problem in your country or not? Okay, this is a kind of a bit difficult question, but can you try? I asked Bangladesh first. Lady first, huh? You understand my question, right?
Yes, it's a big problem.
Please
Because
elaborate.
this time our education system obstruct in many sides. So I think it's a big problem any political situation, political unrest.
Can you give some example of some kind of this not continuity or something of the implementation or policy that are influenced by this kind of political transition or whatever in the positive way? I mean, in the okay, any? No? Okay, it's okay. So what about Mongolia? Please.
I think it is the same problem for us. If there is no political stability and a policy at the government or at the parliament, there wouldn't be like any. I don't think it's going to be good for the education, especially this is for the future of the country. So, I mean, like Mongolia also sometimes have difficulties like with the policy of the government. So it is hard, but like I don't have like any examples to give it to you.
Okay, what about Malaysia?
Thank you. It's very good, interesting questions. Yeah. As for vocational, because it is driven by the industry, because our students, they are going to work in industry. So the political changes might, we can't say they can change it. Because the curriculum, what the student want to achieve, the qualification, the standard, everything is determined by the industry, so they need it. So we have to follow. Whoever the government comes in, they still have to follow that standards. Because the multi-business companies are mostly from foreign companies like Toyota, Daewoo, big companies. So we have to follow. However, if you say that in our local curriculum education, fundamentally there's no changes. Fundamentally, I mean, the fundamental of the education, no changes. But cosmetically, when the government change, there might be changes. For example, let's have our new government here. Now they implement 18 years old compulsory education. So that means all our parents have to send their kids until they reach the 18 years old. If they don't send, the parents can be brought to the court. You will get a penalty or you can jail because you then didn't send your kids to the school. And another thing also now the government are doing, so coming up is the preschool, compulsory preschool. All children must go compulsory. That's not a choice. This is cosmetically, not a fundamental, but it doesn't change much. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like your word. Fundamentally not change, but cosmetically maybe change. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe have a second question, please.
Second question โดยเฉพาะมาเลเซียนะครับสัดส่วนระหว่างนักเรียนสายสามัญกับสายอาชีวศึกษาในมาเลเซียปัจจุบันนี้เป็นอย่างไรบ้างเป็นอย่างไรครับในประการนี้นะครับการที่สองปัญหาค่านิยมของผู้ปกครองและของนักเรียนซึ่งก็มีการพูดถึงอยู่นะครับทางมาเลเซียได้ปัญหานี้ลดลงบ้างไหมครับที่เด็กไม่อยากไปเรียนในชีวะแต่อยากเรียนสายสามัญครับเพราะเด็กรุ่นใหม่รักความสะดวกสบายใช้เทคโนโลยีไม่อยากใช้แรงงานในมาเลเซียเป็นปัญหานี้อย่างไรประเด็นที่3เอกชนที่ได้เข้ามาให้การสนับสนุนการจัดการศึกษาฝึกงานวิภาคีได้รับการอุดหนุนสนับสนุนจากรัฐบาลในการให้ภาษีลดภาษีและมีมาตรการส่งเสริมอย่างไรบ้างครับขอบคุณครับ
Okay, this is the question for Malaysia. Okay, about TVET. Kun Somai like to know the ratio about of the TVET and non-TVET student in Malaysia. I mean general high school student and the TVET student. What is the ratio? Okay, this is the first one. The second one, if there is some kind of value of parents doesn't like, or also a student also doesn't like to enter into TVET because TVET is more like vocational, more hands-on, more how to say dirty job and so on. This is there any value of parent or student that doesn't like to enter TVET because of this kind of idea or values? Okay, and the last question for TVET is about if the private sector that enter into the linkage with TVET system be subsidized by government in some ways like tax reduction or whatever is incentive that given to the private sector. There are 3 questions for you. Yes.
Okay, thank you. First of all, the ratio. I think I put the data just now. That's all what we have under the Ministry of Education. The ratio of schools. I think from the data you can extract it. We can say that we are around right now. Altogether, the student we have around 5 million students. So of course, our TVET education only start at the secondary. And we can say precisely it is the higher secondary after the reach age of 16. So within this group, I can say that it is around 20%, because there's I can say that around 20% only in TVET, because every year we have application of around for our vocational colleges. We have application around 75,000, and that we can give seats is only for 17,500. So that means around 20% only we can provide. Why? We can. Why there's a lot of students want to enter TVET, but why we can't provide it? Because to have a TVET class, we must comply to all the standards. This class is only if 25 students, only 25 students for one program. For example, if we have machine, for example, so one machine for how many students? So if the one machine for 2 students, so we can't have many. So it's limited. We have to open new colleges, then only we can cater more. So I just say that we can have 20% of students. Doesn't mean that they don't like. They like it, but there is no enough infrastructures such as colleges are not enough. Okay, the first question. And the second, of course, when you say the parents feel it is a dirty job, vocational is a second-class job, yes, that exists. But now it is changing. We have parents, graduate, bank officers, teachers, lecturers, they send their children to TVET. Because now they understand that the TVET is not as those days. For example, even industry, they have a CNC machine, for example. Last time they have to use their hand to do that. Now no more. Now what they need to learn is how to make the coding. The machine will work for them. Same thing in the agriculture. Those days, they thought the student have to spray the chemicals. It's very hazardous. Now no more. Our colleges, we teach them how to use drone. We use the drone to put the fertilizers, to spray. So the students are interested. And even on the agriculture, there's all digitalized already. At the right time, the thing will sprinkle, give the waters, everything. So now the student and the parents understand. They have a future in TVET. And the third question is private. Yes, in Malaysia, we give the incentive for private institution if they can funding or they can collaborate with our colleges. So they have the industry also must take part in this. That is one of the things that industry must do in Malaysia, so that they can collaborate with the education of TVET. So there is initiative for them, the tax relief, and same time the industry need the student. They are desperately need the student right now. For example, our semiconductors in Malaysia, they don't enough our workers. So they are desperately need our students. So we are collaborating well.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask the same questions to the other countries about TVET. Do you have the same situation or any difference in like value of parents or students entering TVET? Do you have anything to complement to this one? Rebecca, you have information in Bangladesh?
TVET, we have another ministry, division under the Ministry of Education. They follow madrasa and technical education curriculum. They established many, but our normal school, many people drop out from the school. Our government tried to upstream for this type of TVET program. But sometimes our guardian are not interested to this type of schools. Okay. No.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think the similar situation. Okay. What about Mongolia? Please.
In Mongolia, we have around 70 technical institutions. So currently, they are cooperating with the National Trade and Chamber of Commerce, which is giving more just creating more jobs. They also follow the technical curriculum, and also the number of students enrolling are increasing year by. Also, we believe that the quality is improving, and also the cooperation between private and private partnerships is increasing a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, we are ready for next questions from the floor. Okay, please.
Thank you. I'm Tesla from Jeddah Technology Institute. I have three questions. From the presentation, all 320 highlight digital education. What initiatives are in place to bridge the digital divide, particularly in the rural school? Thank you.
About the digital divide in rural area, is there any policy or any measures that government do to fill the gap of the digital divide? Digital divide in the rural area. Student, yeah, please. Lady first.
Digital divide, our government started in 2012, but now it is spreading 45,000 schools, multimedia classroom, ICT lab, and during COVID period, our government take initiative to continue our curriculum by many Mukto part and many software based like Mukto part and ICT based. Our content developer make many content in our television and radio. So government trying to upgrade its policy to recently our primary education development program introduced. Primary education development program will close 2026, but 5 can initiative for this ICT-based education.
Yes, thank you very much. What about who first? Maybe Mongolia?
As for Mongolia, we started the program since the COVID days, and well, first of all, also we had the challenges because of the infrastructure of the slow internet, but due to our government's digital transformation and education transformation, we have started the new digital classroom that we mentioned like earlier in our slides, that we have created like 800 digital classrooms, which enabled for 15,000 students who live in rural areas to have their classes without like moving anywhere.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to just share nation's experience. So after the COVID, we started a platform called Delima. It's worked with Google and Microsoft. So in Malaysia, the initiative is, in this platform, is a digital platform where every student and teachers in Malaysia will get an ID. So with this ID, they can enter to this platform and to access all the digital apps. For example, ChatGPT, Canva, whatever apps that we have for education, so everything's there. Then that same platform also, all the teachers from Malaysia, just say in one subject, science subject, all the teachers from Malaysia, if they have resources, they done some classes, lessons, they digitalize, they will put also inside there. So that student can choose what subject they want and they can explore. Same also, this explanation questions, answers. So there is a platform already established by the government. So for the accessibility, I don't understand is it the whole nation, all the rural people are getting accessibility? They're very important. So the government is working for that. And in our new agenda, that is Curriculum 2027, there will be a new additional subject that is called Digital and Technology for all the students from primary. Digital and technology. So I would say that with this, the government will, establish or to make sure that all the classes have the internet access. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think the digital divide is one of the, common problem for all countries. But, government has different approach, and I think government is trying, every government trying hard to fill the gap. And I think some past event like COVID and some obstacle make us more speedy on this one. I think. Thank you very much for your sharing. Okay, yeah, please, Dr. Bang.
My name is Bang from Science, Technology and Innovation Policy Institute, Thailand. I have specific question for Malaysian case and broad question for Bangladesh and Mongolia. You show us the figure that about 10% of graduates from the TVET programs becomes the entrepreneur, which is really impressive. 2-digit 10% is very impressive. So I would like to know a bit more about firstly, what kind of business they becomes an owner. The second one is about the whether these outcomes is by design or by chance or organic process. Did you decide to create an entrepreneurship and embed these entrepreneurship to these graduates or not? Lastly, I would like to know a bit about do you have any complement policies to support these 10% students to get, for example, I'm sure that they get very skillful competency from TVET program, but do you add on the financial support or policy, others policy to support them or not? These kind of questions that pop up in my mind when I saw your figures. For other two countries, I would like to know a bit more about this issue too. In your curriculum design, in your education system, do you emphasize more on not just only worker skill set, but entrepreneurial skill sets in your education system? And in which way, if you have, in which way you are working on to equip the entrepreneurship for your students? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the very interesting questions. May I start from Malaysia first this time? Okay.
Very good, very interesting question when talk about the 10% entrepreneurs. I'll give an example how it works in Malaysia. For example, while in their school, right now also, in the school for agriculture, take agriculture, everyone common agriculture. So we have agriculture bank. So this agriculture bank, in the school level itself, they are providing some support. Yes, now we know they're taking a new rearing fish technique, the biofloc technique. Yeah. So these banks, they provide all the system, everything, complete system to the school. So they select the schools and they provide, and the school running the student learning. Okay, that's the first step. What is happening in our schools right now. And the second step, just say the student already graduated. So these banks, they have a grant. So they can give grants. Okay, you start a business. You want to start business in fishery? Okay, you come up with your, proposal, and they give the grant and to support. So with this, you can create the entrepreneurs. This is happening in Malaysia. So this is one example that I shows. And so for other industries, especially for food industries, so there's a lot. I mean, after that, they become a bakery, they can do a lot of things. So again, the finance is important. So if they come with a good proposal, there's people ready to fund them because they already have the knowledge and the skill. It's the additional value that they have. And so most of the programs, so they are capable to become entrepreneurs. And the support is there. The government also giving the initiative, especially. So under a lot of, even not just now I'm mentioning about the bank, even the government initiative itself, there is to start the businesses. I think. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. What about the entrepreneurship in for students? Any policy or any measure or any curriculum? Yeah, please.
In Mongolia, at the moment, state-owned vocational institutions are more focused on creating workforce. Like I said, around 70 institutions we have there in Mongolia, and half of them are private and the other half is state-owned. So the private institutions would be more focused on entrepreneurship skills, and also in recent years in middle schools we have started the projects on building entrepreneurship skills for kids.
Thank you. Rebecca, please.
I am responsible for primary and mass education, so it's a good, tough job for me. But entrepreneurships, we have another ministry, youth ministry. So they working for this side. But our ICT ministry also working to promote entrepreneurship. It's not related in our education system. So.
Okay. So in Thailand also we try to promote entrepreneurship for students. High school. University student, and also if possible high school student also, because we believe that entrepreneur will create the new economy for us. I think we have the same idea. Okay, we can have one more. I kept the question, please.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to have the experience of learning with all the countries at this moment. May I ask, and please share, I would like to know what inspired your teachers to work dedicatedly to provide high quality learning and good life for their students. First question. And the second question is, how the Ministry of Education in your country nurture, support this inspiration? Thank you, sir and ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. This is very also inspirational questions for us. Okay, so there are two questions. The first one was, what is inspiration? What inspires teachers to work hard, right, to make high quality teaching to students, okay, in your country? What kind of things make a teacher work hard and with quality? The first question. The second question, how Ministry of Education nurture and support them?
We have some challenges. Our teachers' salary is very low. So, but we are trying to change their salary structure. Recently, our primary school headmaster grade above, and no other facilities for them. All teachers of government schools, they get same salary. So, but we provide many trainings. Our government trying to sometimes they achieve our award, just like PMCA award types award. Our Ministry of Education and our Ministry of Primary and Education arrange and they recognize them many for their best teaching practice, and for their recognition, sometimes we select them and arrange many training our country and abroad. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. What about Mongolia?
So, we have a system in Mongolia that inspires teachers to work hard, and also there's an evaluation process which is done by the Ministry of Education and also the school or the institution by itself. So in total there are 2 evaluation processes that can give incentives to the teachers, and as a salary and also as a salary add-on for up to 40% of the main salary. And also as the institution itself can evaluate the teachers themselves, so that every teacher who inspires and works hard can have a better salary.
Thank you. What about in Malaysia?
It's a very interesting question, Islam. It's a very high level question, I can say that. Actually, to answer this is in Malaysian context or any part of the world, first thing is how we choose the teachers, or the government choose the teachers. So once we must choose the right person to be the teachers. And second is, are we preparing them to become a good teacher? So the teachers training college, where we train them, so there should be some noble thinking to be imparted in the teachers when we train them. So this we do that in Malaysia. So every teachers, they are obliged. So they have to, the obligation, they must raise up their hand and say, I will teach, I will do that. This. Although it is a compulsory. So to make the teacher, to become a real teacher, so this is the process. So even I have been a teacher. I've been a teacher. I know, I understand how the meaning of the good life for the student, how we make that. And we really, the award, of course, the biggest award is the self-award. what I said, the self-worth is when we meet our student and the student says, thank you, teacher, because of you, I am now like this. You know that there's no other award in this world can replace that. I've been going through with some students. Now how we feel satisfied become a teacher. You see, because of you, I'm now at this position. Thank you, teacher. So that's the words. So I think the teachers, not everyone can be a born teachers, but we can nurture the teachers to become that. So for me, the training of the teachers is important. So we must put this value in our teachers. So this is what the government is doing in our training colleges. I think that's all.
Thank you very much. This is a very, as I said, inspirational questions. And from my observation, working with the foundation for 10 years and seeing our teachers, I think one of the inspiration is to see the change in student life. This is one of the probably the most, as Malaysia speaker said, Dr. Shah said, right? How we change the student life. And I think it's the work of the ministry or government to support them by salary, by recognitions, right? By, as you said, by recruiting and preparing them the best for them for going out there to help students, to teach students, to grow students. Thank you very much for the very inspirational questions. Okay, maybe we can have one more question if there is any. Okay, please, Dr. Supakon, please.
Thank you for thanks the delegates from the 4 countries. I have learned a lot from your presentations, and in fact, I have about 200 questions. But but because our next meal is dinner, not breakfast, so I reduced my my question to just a few. My first question is to Mongolia and Bangladesh, the same questions. From what I heard, I think you have improved intelligence in your education system. One thing I heard of is the development of the data system. So you introduce the data development to make your education system more intelligent, especially in improving the performance and also in restructuring the financing, something like that. Could you please share a bit more about these things, about the expectation of the roles of the information system in education reform? My second and third, is to Malaysia, our neighbor. From what I heard, I think you are not a government representative, but I would like to, I think you don't mind sharing the wisdom of your government to us from answering these 2 questions. From what I heard, I understand that you will transform your TVET from school-driven to industry-driven, from ministry-driven to industry-driven. So my question is, how did that start? What initiated that change of directions, if I am right, if I heard you right? And if you are kind enough, you might want to share a bit more about the accreditations thinking. What kind of accreditations? School accreditations, or job accreditations, or skill accreditations, or what? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Supakon. He asked about the data system that make the education system more intelligent and leading to the other policy like financing and so on. Is there any policy or any project or implementation on that data system to make the education system more intelligent in Bangladesh and Mongolia. Yes, please.
We have a big program, a primary education development program. It's have 4 or 5 components. One of the components, important components to change our education data system. Our government already introduced our IPEMIS, Integrated Primary Education Management Information System. It's the one smart platform, all digital services, all information about primary education, teachers information in one platform, online transfer there, and all policies included here. Students' information, we can see our training program by this learning management system, and by the PDP Primary Education Development Program, our government take initiatives to advance this program.
Thank you very much. I ask a little bit more. The IPEMIS, the Integrated Primary Education
Management Information System.
This is the central, central system that the central government make and then
Central government.
okay,
System.
and then distribute to school to use this
School.
system. I see. This is
We
on
have the ID. Every teacher have the ID. They enter this system and they see they are joining to present service status.
Okay, thank you very much. And what about Mongolia, please?
Since 2002, we started working on EMI system, Education Management Information System, real-time open data system, to see which system enables us to see where we need teachers, in which province, what kind of buildings do the schools have, the number of students, and which. So basically, it's an information system, data system that can allow us to see like what we have in general. As it is also the part of the digital transformation policy of our government. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. What about Malaysia? About the transition from school to industry TVET, and also how you started or initiated them, and about the accreditation system, please.
Okay, thank you for the question. I can say that when our national TVET policy comes in, when we take all the 12 ministries together, work together on TVET. So here we understand that Ministry of Education or Ministry for Higher Education can work alone or think alone what they want to make the curriculum or what they want. So they must take into account all other ministries. So, for example, the Human Resource Development Ministry, they will project. So they are projecting, just say that we need technical workers for semiconductors in the year of this March because the industry needs that. Okay, so now we are working together. So, what type of skill that the industry needs? Only the industry knows. So there is a council that we sit together with the industries, because all the semiconductors, they have their one chairperson who will represent them. So we will talk to them in the council, and they will advise us. And when we plan our curriculum, also they will be one of the panel to make the curriculum. So because the nation need, because earlier we are thinking that we are following all the countries elsewhere, what their TVET program they have, then we studied correct. But now we know what industry that is in Malaysia, what industry that need our workers. Because we have to produce the workers, the skill that the industry need locally first. So from there we study. That now we can say that the industry, as you mentioned, the industry deliver. Yeah, because we involve the industry. So they will guide us what type of skills, and they support us. Because these students, they want to graduate, they must go to the industry for in our colleges, in vocational colleges, for example, they must be there for 6 months. They must have a real experiences with that industry. So this industry also, they will take our student to be there. So they don't want the student with not familiar at all with the system that they have. So that's why we work together. And for the second question, it's about certification, correct? The accreditation. Okay, we have for this TVET system itself, we have 3 types of accreditation. One is from the MQA, Malaysian Qualification Accreditation. This is for the diploma level, for the student to make sure that they can continue their study in universities in Malaysia or abroad to the overseas, so the MQA. And we have another is MBOT, Malaysian Board of Technologies. So this one to make sure that our program is follow all their their needs. I mean, if it include everything, it's include everything. The teachers ratio, the students, how many machines should be there. All the Malaysian Board of Technologies will ensure that everything will follow with their regulations. Okay. And another one is JPQ in Malaysia, or is a skill development accreditation. This one for the skill level. So they will accredit. And with their accreditation only, the student will get the certificate. The certificate is not comes from the Ministry of Education. It comes from the accreditation body, the skill development body. For our ministry, we provide them with the Malaysian Certificate of Education. But the skill certificate is coming from outside, another body. So to make sure that they are really skilled and comply to the all the needs for the courses. Hopefully I can answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the Malaysia Board of Technologies, for example, our PMCA awarded this year from Malaysia, he has like technologies platinum. This is the title technologies came from the board of the technologies. See, it's a very unique system. Okay. Thank you very much. This is a very insightful afternoon for our speakers and also questions and answers. So I think it's time to end this afternoon's very interesting session. So please give a big round of applause to the speaker. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the hard call. We draw this insightful session into a close. I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the 4 speakers and participants. First, I find your contribution offer a wealth of perspective, practical experiences, and innovative ideas. I think the stories shared today have reaffirmed the importance of our future collaboration, resilience, and commitment to our shared pursuit of educational excellence for our country. From Bhutan to Bangladesh, from Mongolia to Malaysia, I think your work is a powerful reminder that while the contexts may differ, but our goals are the same, to ensure that every child received quality education and have opportunity to reach their full potential. Quite a range of PMCA circle. We have Mongolia, who I could not imagine why thousands of 10,000 of years ago people chose to live there. I find literally to read, I couldn't find it. How people live in such a remote and isolated place. What did they do, say, tens of thousands of years ago to survive? Even presently, surviving in Mongolia in hard winter is difficult enough. Just imagine what it's like 5,000, 10,000 years ago. So I couldn't find a reason that how human managed to live there. I love Mongolia, open sky, open land, big open land. You can see forever. And then Bangladesh, I was in Dhaka for a few days. I tried to learn very much about Bangladesh because we have the Bengali working in Thailand for a long time. So we have a community of Bengalis, I think even before Thailand, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, that what is written in our history are communities of Bengali living in our last capital of Ayutthaya, which is over 500 or 600 years ago. So to us, Bengal is like a neighbor to all kingdoms of Thailand, not just the new kingdom. I hope I have more time in Bangladesh next time. Try to, I was telling the ambassador that no matter how remote the PMCA school is, we will visit her or him like we go to Mongolia. Not just Ulaanbaatar, we went to a school that is received patronage by Her Royal Highness. Few hours drive from Ulaanbaatar to that school. And Bhutan, I was supposed to be there, but I was sick, I couldn't make it. And for Malaysia, it's been a very good neighbor of Thailand. The states in northern Malaysia are quite close to provinces in southern Thailand. Perak is just across the border. The Thai used to go to Penang and Ipoh, that kind of places. The Malaysians in Kedah, in Terengganu and Kelantan, they are relatives, right? When I go to these northern states, they talk about their relatives in the southern Thailand, and also the Malaysians there talk about their relatives just across the border. So we are quite close to northern Malaysia and southern Thailand. I hope that with this close proximity, we can have more experiences. Okay? So I've learned a lot about 4 countries today. I think I would encourage all the 14 countries to interact more, and the foundation could be a bridge connecting all these 14 countries. On behalf of the foundation, I thank you again for your presence, your passion, your unwavering dedication to education within the context of your country. I wish you all success in your work, and I look forward to positive changes your efforts would bring to your countries in the year to come. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us show appreciation to the 4 speakers. Lastly, have a safe journey home. Okay? Bon voyage.
Thank you very much once again for being part of this meaningful exchange session, and we wish you all enjoyable evening and looking ahead to seeing you around and for the next session of PMCA during these 2 days. Thank you very much.